I was inspired by Claire from Witch Shed Theory to make a video that I don't overthink and just to shoot one. So I figured I would grab my coffee, which can't be a porch coffee, unfortunately, because I'm in Texas and it already feels like 100 degrees at 8:59 in the morning. So I'm not on my porch with my coffee, but I'm in my office with my coffee, and I figured why not make a video? Fun fact, we do not own a coffee pot. I don't know if this word will translate, but my husband is bougie. Maybe that's not the right word. He's very skilled in the ways of coffee and won't settle for less than his skilled ways. That's not true. He'll drink other stuff if he's a guest, but we don't own a coffee pot, but we do own a French press, an AeroPress, a Chemex. I think we had like a cold brew thing, but no regular drip coffee pot. No. Only craft coffee methods. So I impress myself sometimes because I do know how to make some of those things. But I go through weird stages in my life where I can or cannot drink coffee. I think depending on the state of my nervous system, maybe. Sometimes it's just way too much for me. But I'm grateful that lately I've been able to drink it because I really enjoy the ritual of it, and I love the smell and I love the heat. I love it. One thing that does help me drink it, I'm not drinking it this way right now, but I really like bulletproof coffee. Has anybody heard of bulletproof coffee? It's started by Dave Asprey, who's a very interesting character with a very interesting podcast. And you mix coffee with a fat like ghee or butter and something called MCT oil, which is supposed to be really good for your brain. And so when you mix it with those two things, it slows the absorption of the caffeine into your bloodstream. And that really helps me so that I don't have like a spike of energy. That's usually too overwhelming to me. So I really like drinking bulletproof coffee because I can drink it kind of all morning and it keeps me from feeling overwhelmed, but I can still drink coffee. But for whatever reason, I'd like to think it's because I've been better managing myself. I can drink coffee without issues on Tuesday, July 26th. Who knows what it'll be like tomorrow. So anyway, this is my favorite coffee mug. I've been to New York City a total of one time, and I loved it. I love the hustle and bustle of it, which I guess is a little strange considering I'm on the spectrum, but I love it. Also, I just love being around art. I love being around live art. It might be, like, I don't think I'm over exaggerating. Live art might be my favorite thing, like, in the world. Okay, exaggerating because my family, my cats, yes, okay, but one of my favorite experiences in life is live music, live art, live performance. And I can't wait to go back to New York City. My husband and I like to get these mugs whenever we travel. One of my favorite places that we went was Oahu. This is about a decade ago now. I'm a Pisces, so I love being around the water. I guess that might be kind of stereotypical, but I honestly feel like there's like a homing device inside of me, and whenever I'm around water, I'm like, okay, I'm okay. I've thought about that sometimes because I'm like, why don't I move to a place that has more water? But I'm also terrified of hurricanes. So anyways, I loved being in Oahu because it was just immersive beauty. My husband loves the mountains, so I think that's part of why I loved it, because he could also have mountains because there's gorgeous mountains there. And the mountains are beautiful, just covered in green. I've never seen anything else like it. Anyways, now that I've shared my coffee information with you, we also use really nice beans. My husband orders really nice beans from Novel Coffee Roasters. This is not an ad, but he's very particular about them. And I have to say that I approve because they're really good. It smells so good. I'm gonna waft it to you. So this weekend we had a very busy weekend, and normally those things really overwhelm me, but I feel like I did a great job handling it, and I'm really proud of myself. And I know every day is different, but I do feel like I'm getting better at navigating autistic life. I've heard it talked about before. but like pre-overwhelm is a thing. So if you know you're gonna have a really big weekend, it's normal to kind of get overwhelmed and overstimulated beforehand because there's so many things to think about and do. I knew going into this weekend that I just needed some downtime. So there was one day when there's really so much I want to do for the channel right now, y'all. Like, I could work myself into a frenzy. But I just told myself, I think it was last Thursday, I was like, I'm just gonna lay in bed and I'm gonna do nothing. And that's what I did. And then this weekend, I was with people like all day Saturday. So I wore my earbuds, which that's been a new change for me since I've had my autism diagnosis. I don't realize how much I'm affected by sound until I don't have my earbuds in. So it's kind of hard to remember because like when I put them in, I don't feel that different. But later in the day, I can realize, oh my gosh, these have made a huge difference and have saved me from a lot of unwanted sound overwhelm. So they're kind of hard to remember, but I do my best to keep them in my purse. So I wore those all day, which was good because we were at a kid's birthday party. And I wore really comfortable clothes, which I think is also a huge component of success. I stayed inside as much as possible because it literally is getting up to like 110 degrees heat index here in Texas. And that's overwhelming. I got a sunshade for my car, which feels like it should just be a standard issue when you buy a house in Texas. But just putting that up in the window anytime I get out of the car has been helpful, but just little things like this that add up. I keep water with me all the time. Staying hydrated is really important, and I forget to do it if I don't have a water bottle with me. I thought I brought it in here with me, but I did not. Fail. And then we had friends over to our house. They were in from DC. They're super sweet friends. We were excited to hang out with them. And it's nice having people in my space because it feels safe. You know, I can control this space. I feel comfortable in this space. But it's also hard in a sense that like you can't just have people leave your space whenever you're ready for them to leave your space, which is really hard for my daughter to learn when she has friends over. I particularly enjoyed myself this weekend, and I think something that really helped, my friend was like, let's go get our nails done. So we got out of the house for a little bit, and I think that sensory like foot leg massage, some of you in the comments are gonna be like, I hate my feet being touched. It's okay. But it was really helpful and really nice. And I didn't cook. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. I think I've just realized when I have people over to my house, I do like to cook, and I feel like I'm pretty good at cooking, but cooking for other people is one of the most stressful things for me, for so many reasons. Usually because every time it feels like I'm cooking up until the minute they ring the doorbell and then some. Like, even if I plan to get it done before they get here, it just like never happens. So it's kind of this big transition when somebody gets there, acclimating to the new guests in the house while also having stuff on the stove and trying to get it ready and get drinks and everything. It's just too much. I realized, especially for larger events, it's really important for me to either just pick up food or have like a big potluck thing where everybody brings their own food. That's really helpful for me when it comes to hosting at my house. But during the night, I went and changed into more comfortable clothes. So I was already wearing comfortable clothes, but like I knocked it down a level. I went even comfier, which I think helped me chill. And then I made some hot tea. It's these small little changes that really, really add up because I don't realize how much something's bothering me, especially in a social context, because I'm thinking more so about how to entertain and how to take care of my guests. So not having these little annoyances, these little sensory overwhelms during the day, it made such a difference. So I had my hot tea in my hands. That was really comforting, and then the smell of it was really nice. We played a game that was not intensive. I was really glad my husband suggested this. It's a game called Quicks, and it's super chill. It's just like a dice game, and you can talk while you're playing it, so you don't have to be super focused on the conversation or the game. It was really nice. It's a really good suggestion, husband. And then afterwards, the next day, I just gave myself permission to do whatever I needed to do. I slept in. I didn't have a lot of plans and just took care of some stuff around the house in a really low-key, chill way. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good. It's Tuesday, and I didn't have a meltdown. So, again, I know all days are different. I'll experiences are different. And I think I was talking with somebody else about this the other day. I kind of catch myself thinking like, oh, I'm so glad I've learned how to navigate this. So glad that I know how to keep this from happening again. And then it's like, bam, it happens again. So I'm grateful that this time around it didn't result in a meltdown, but I'm not kidding myself thinking that it'll never happen again. I'm meltdown free. Cheers. And then also, this might sound weird, but I feel like I'm getting better at letting energy just pass through my body. Let me unpack that. I think as someone on the spectrum, my nervous system is often just very overwhelmed. And I'm realizing, because of all of the fun and interesting things that I like to read about, that we can hold that energy inside and it can create other issues. Like if I'm really anxious about something and don't do anything with that anxiety is just going to build and build and build and build. So I'm becoming more aware of when I do feel anxious. I'm becoming more aware of the signals that my body gives me whenever I'm clenching, or a lot of times I'll notice that my shoulders come forward and I'm like trying to protect myself because I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is a really good sign to me that I'm maybe masking or feeling uncomfortable. And so what I've been trying to do is just breathe into that space and let the energy, not try to make it go away, because I think that can create more tension, but just feeling it like, ooh, my chest does feel pretty tight right now. I wonder what that's about, you know? There's also something called our bandhas, like in yoga, and think of it like one of our bandhas I know is like kind of those muscles that you use to like stop from going to the bathroom, and you can clench those muscles and then kind of breathe and like unclench those muscles, and it just kind of relaxes your whole lower half, which a lot of times, especially relationally, we carry relational stress. Let me try that again. Especially with relationships, we tend to carry stress like in our hips. I don't know why. So just becoming aware of any tension in that area and trying to breathe into that area, allowing the energy to be there, just kind of taking mental note of what that feels like, questioning, I wonder why that's there, breathing through it. And then if it's ready to go, just allowing the energy to just kind of move through you. So, I don't know, some of you might hear that and be like, whoa, what's in your coffee? I assure you that it's just black. That's the only way we do it here, except for bulletproof. But it's really helpful, and I feel like it's been helpful as a mom too. It's been helpful in that I feel less reactive to my kids' emotions. And I wouldn't necessarily label myself as a reactive person. I feel like I'm pretty calm and chill. But a lot of times when my kids are frustrated or angry, I'll pick up on their frustration and anger and like I'll kind of take some for myself, you know, like, well, if you're frustrated, I'm frustrated. More just in how I carry myself. But I'm letting my kids just have it. Like if they're frustrated and angry, they can be frustrated and angry, and I don't also have to be frustrated and angry. I think it's really easy to kind of take on their energy. Like if my kids are fighting, you'd be like, Cooper, you need to listen to Molly, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm just trying to help them identify their emotions. So, oh, it sounds like you're feeling frustrated right now. What's going on? Cooper, seems like you're kind of angry right now. And we kind of try to talk through it, which doesn't always go well. I'm not trying to paint like a rosy picture over here. I think the main thing I'm trying to say is that I don't take on that anger and frustration on a good day, and just kind of act as an observer and let them kind of figure it out with guidance, because a lot of times they know how to figure it out more than they think they do. Even if it's like, Molly knows she needs space and she's going to go to her room and she's going to close the door. She might close it a little too hard. But she'll go in there and say, I'm having quiet time right now. That means like nobody is allowed in here. Cooper will say immediately as soon as the door closes, I'm feeling lonely. So we're working on that, because that's his response to everything. I'm feeling lonely. But my point is, I think that kids and us, I think we know what we need more than we are willing to admit sometimes. We just have to be quiet enough and still enough to listen to that. And it's not easy to do this. We don't have it figured out over here. I would say that we're having more instances of calm, and we're all learning how to work through our emotions by ourselves. And it's okay to help each other out with that, but you just want to avoid taking on other people's emotions as your own. Cheers to that, anyone? Okay. That's called codependency. What else is new? The summer's gone by really fast over here. The kids are about to be back in school. And I'm going to be sad, honestly. This has been a really good summer with them, and I've really enjoyed being home with them. But it will also open up more time to spend on the channel, so I'm excited about that too. And I promise community groups are coming, and I'm really excited about them. And that's my next focus now that the big autistic resource guide is up. If you haven't seen that, it's literally the video that I posted right before this one. It's a free resource guide, donation based, but you can download it for free if you need to, with so many things for the autistic community. I'm really proud of it. So anyways, I wish that my cats would have joined me for morning coffee. They didn't. I manifested a cat. That's Zoe though. She could care less what I'm doing right now. Bye, Zoe. But anyways, cheers to maybe more impromptu videos, thanks to my muse, Claire, and her lovely channel. Make sure you've checked out Witchhead Theory if you haven't already. We've got a really cool autistic community online, you know? We're pretty cool. That's all I got today. Thanks for joining me for my black AeroPress coffee. Cheers. Hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, friends.